Unless you are not a subscriber to this channel or you don't really follow updates that we upload on this channel, that's when you'll obviously get to know or not be knowing that Man United is really in what we call a crisis, of what we call the people that are really running the club of Man United and the coaching staff of Man United as far as the centre forward crisis is really concerned. Erik ten Hag has gone ahead and really told us that he expected it, but he failed to obviously getting someone that can obviously act as an or the competitor of Rasmus Hojlund. Welcome to the United Matters channel. How are you guys and where you're watching us from? I go by the names of Rock and David. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're totally watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rock and David is my name. I hope you guys are really doing fine, and let's obviously take it to where it's all calling for. Then we are having Fosun Omori. Ten Hag has gone ahead and obviously talked about him and very many others, plus Rasmus Hojlund and what we anticipate in there for you. Anton Martial in the mix of this and the worry that this club is at to end this season in a very, very blowing hot and cold way. So we start it off with thanking the Lord for the gift of life, the Muslims. Barakallahu fikum, and hope you guys are really having fun wherever you are. And this is the man known as Rokan David, and let's obviously get going. Now, Erik ten Hag said, when I got the news about Anton Martial at the start of January, I really tried to get another striker in, but because we are vulnerable there, financial fair play rule was the thing. We couldn't do it. We worked out other options, how to fill this in and how to deal in the moments Rasmus Hojlund wouldn't have been available. We have options in our squad. So this is what I told you, that when you're having a competent board, your manager cannot obviously have problems like this, because the board will always get to know that we need 2 or 3 strikers at the club of Man United. 2 out and out number 9s, and one should be able to be playing in different other positions. For example, you can be having Anton Martial, Rasmus Hojlund, and another player like Marcus Rashford who can play or lead the line. But for Marcus Rashford, in his stature, he cannot lead the line very well. But I can best give you an example for a team like Arsenal. They are having Edin Ketia and Gabriel Jesus as the number 9s, but they have players like Kai Havertz and Leandro Trossard that can come in through and really lead the line on any day. These players have not been available. You've seen it in the previous 2-3 games of Arsenal, and they've gone ahead to score 14 goals where they never had a number 9 that is really in and out. They went ahead to beat Man City by 3-1 without a number 9. They went ahead to beat West Ham by 6-0 without a number 9. And they also beat Burnley by 5-0 without a number 9. So that's what I'm talking about. And Ten Hag tried all the attempts to get in these players. And all this is courtesy of how bad we are in the board. But the beauty of all this is Manchester United is now having new football head of operations, and that is Ineos. So Ineos comes in through as a minority stakeholder to take us to the dream world. And I think such scenarios will never happen at the club of Man United. When you look at Rasmus Hojlund, you anticipate that the point X he's really gonna break down, because he never got in the required preseason, and that is really key for a player, because even when he was at Atalanta, he really lost himself. How did he lose himself? He had a back injury, and that's why when we signed him, he missed out on the first 5 games for the club of Man United, and that is Rasmus Hojlund for you. So when you look at Erik ten Hag, he tried out to get in a centre forward on loan, but we couldn't obviously get in one. And I doubt whether it's FFP, but I think Ineos, we are not getting in any player. We are getting in players after we get in a new CEO, a new director of football, and a new head of recruitment. And for me, I was okay with that. I knew Girassi would have gone ahead to come in through and really do the needful for the club of Man United, but I really went ahead to respect the decision made by the board of Man United, because they don't want to be attached to players that were bought in a panic. And this season, you can easily write it off and really start off the season of 2024-2025 with very many players that are really good, and you compete and even win the league and then qualify for the Champions League. And for your information, it's not the first time that Man United would have gone ahead to miss out on the Champions League football. We've missed out on Champions League football very many times ever since Alex Ferguson left. So it's not news that we're not going to be playing in the Champions League until the season ends this way. But Erik ten Hag tried his level best, but because of the incompetence of the club, he failed to really get in either or even a player on a loan. And then that's where he headed and talked about Rasmus Hojlund. But remember, he was trying to put in or get in what we call a Rasmus Hojlund backup. And that Rasmus Hojlund backup was supposed to either come on loan or a permanent transfer, but none of those could have gone ahead to be operated. And he tried to get in Timo Werner. You saw to it that Tottenham Hotspur got him because they acted quick, and Man United was not willing to have that buy clause. Yet Tottenham Hotspur, we are willing to obviously dance to the tune. So that's how the attempt of Erik ten Hag to get in a Rasmus Hojlund backup really failed. For Anton Martial, injury prone, he's out until the mid of April, and you cannot even trust him when he returns in April that he cannot get another injury. You know, he's always 2, 4, 5 games away from really getting injured, and this time around he got injured without even being part of the team, like playing very many games of football. So that's the shocking bit about it. Then on Rasmus Hojlund, Ten Hag had the following to say: "We are happy to bring Rasmus Hojlund in because if I saw the striker options and the variable striker options, there was really a shortage on good options. We are very happy to sign Rasmus Hojlund. That is a player to the level of Manchester United." Now, sorry about that. Now, for everyone who has always come out and said United would have gone in for Harry Kane, would have gone in for Victor Osimhen. Now, what do you have to say about Rasmus Hojlund? You've seen his performances. 7 Premier League goals, in like 8 matches. Sorry. I think they are 7 in 6. That is Rasmus Hojlund for you. And I tell you, the guy will never stop unless otherwise something really bad happens or to him, like when he gets a bad injury. But he is a fantastic player. He has gone ahead to put in lots and lots of performances that have gone ahead, obviously, gate us onto his bandwagon. And he's really great. He does good things, and I really love the player as Rasmus Hojlund. And I know haters have gone ahead to be sat down by this young man, and he now has 13 goals this season for the club of Manchester United. Very bad that he's going to be out for like 2, 3, 4 matches, but would have been better for him not to really get injured. But he's really that kind of striker, and Ten Hag is really happy with what he's doing onto the field of play. Then Ten Hag had the following to add onto that, and he said, "Lately, in our last games, the front line is an absolute threat. They score. Is it Rasmus only?" The manager says no. It's Alejandro Garnacho. It's Marcus Rashford. In this moment, they're in a very good form and a threat continually. I'm quite confident that even when Rasmus Hojlund is not there, it will go on. We can line up a front line which is really strong. I don't think there is a front line where the opponent thinks that is easy. No way. They'll fear our front line, I'm sure. So guys, for me, I think Ten Hag has a point in what he's saying. Our front line is a threat. Rashford, Garnacho, now it's going to be Amad Diallo, all for Son Omori, all Anthony, and everyone is going to be afraid because Garnacho is in elite form. And in this game of football, this is where I really understand that all you need is to find Garnacho and Rashford scoring their goals. But Rashford last scored, by the way, when you're playing against which team? I think Wolverhampton Wanderers. He never scored against West Ham. He never scored against Aston Villa. He never scored against Luton Town. So it's now 3 games when Rashford is not scoring, and all what you want to see is how he really behaves when he really has the mantle to take off the team. Can he come in through and really score a hat-trick today? That is really another huge vow in there for you. But as we contemplate on who is really going to start for the club of Manchester United today in that Rasmus Hojlund position, there is a possibility that this guy gets into the starting 11 and plays as a centre forward for the club of Man United, and that is none other than Omori Fosun. Erik ten Hag is set to hand Omori Fosun his Premier League debut start for Man United today. The manager rates Fosun very highly, and the preference for him is to start over Ahmad. Is based on the skill set and potential and not training performance or effort related. So Ten Hag has shown us that he loves Fosun Omori. That even when we are playing against Wigan 2-0, he brought him on, and he never brought on Amad Diallo. Newport County, he brought him on. Wolverhampton Wanderers, Ten Hag brought on Fosun Omori, and very many other games altogether. He kept bringing on Fosun Omori to really kill off the game. And even, I think in the game of Nottingham Forest, he kept him on. But I think he's all doing it because they don't want to lose him on a free. And what Ten Hag wants is to really have this player renew his contract at the club of Man United. But I think you cannot tell me that Fosun Omori is really a better player than Amad Diallo. The only thing that Amad Diallo is not having is the physicality, but even Anthony is like that. He doesn't have the physicality. So there is a conflict of interest, with Erik ten Hag on Fosun Omori, but I really love the player and I really love him from the academy. And I think they just want to convince his agency and agent that they can really get him the amount of time that he deserves as a player, and a lot will be given a very huge goal. The manager himself, when it came for him to be answering a question about Fosun Omori, this is what he said. Omori Fosun is really doing well. We have options to fill in those positions. It's not set. Marcus Rashford has to play as a centre forward. So they're asking him on who is going to play as a centre forward for the club of Manchester United as they take on the side of Fulham this evening. He told them it's written nowhere that it's supposed to be like that, and Fosun Omori is doing well, but it really looks like most likely Fosun is going to really come in through and really start. And in the next 1 hour, I'm going to be here revealing to you what the team news is, and I'll be doing what we call the match day live. Then we go into the match reaction, and then after, we'll close down the day with the player rating. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. Rock and David remains my name. I sign out for now. See you later. Ten Hag failed the Hojlund backup attempt. A welcome in the comment section below. And what are your thoughts about what I've gone ahead to come in here and really told you about? Anton Martial, Fosun, Omari, Rasmus Hojlund, very many others. We cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ, and may the living to God bless you abundantly. See you later.